What is happening, you wonderful people? So, I got a chance to go see the new James McAvoy thriller, horror film, whatever you want to call it, movie last night called Speak No Evil. And this movie actually doesn't release until this Thursday, but the embargo lifted earlier today. So, I kind of I wasn't sure when the embargo was going to lift because I went to the advanced screening last night. And whenever you go to an advanced screening, they have the poster on the screen. And usually it shows like the date for the embargo, but it didn't. But then I learned it was today, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I like this movie, but I have my issues with it. And I'm going to talk about them, but I want to talk about the positives first because I'm not going to lie, I had fun with this movie. I really did. And so the main premise of this movie is a couple and their daughter. They go on vacation and they meet this other family that they don't know. They just met. James McAvoy, his wife, and their son. And their son is mute. He cannot talk, And without really giving anything away or saying anything, all chaos ensues. All chaos ensues, and I guarantee y'all probably all seen the trailers by now. Let's hop right into it. Okay, so talk about the positives first, and then I'll talk about my negatives. Right off the bat, James McAvoy. Okay, this is a rated R movie. And Glass by M. Night Shyamalan is a PG-13 movie. I'm someone who actually really enjoyed Glass. I know a majority of people didn't enjoy Glass. I really did. I like that film. I like what M. Night Shyamalan did with that one. And that's coming from someone who has not seen Unbreakable and Split. I plan on watching both of those. They're on my list. I just haven't got a chance to. You thought he was crazy in that movie? Again, keep in mind, that's PG-13. This is R. There's different tones of violence in PG-13 and R-rated movies. But anyways, you think he was crazy in that movie? Times it in this movie by 10, or shoot, even 20. This dude, James McAvoy is literally one of the best actors working today. Like, I legit thought last night, I was like, could this be Oscar worthy? Could it be? Like, I was writing my Twitter review. I was on Twitter typing it out, and I almost typed down Oscar worthy ? I almost did. I don't think it's gonna get an Oscar. I mean, what horror movies really do, you know what I mean? But the way James McAvoy was able to play this type of psychopathic, perverted, witty antagonist of like villain, it's just beyond me. The way he played this character, it's just like he honestly, he had depth to him too. He really did. And you didn't know in this movie when he was going to strike. And like the tension, you could feel the tension building up in the movie. Like right from the opening scene. Like you could honestly feel it building up. And that was one of the coolest things about the movie, And that's one of the things I really liked about it. But the other characters, forgettable. I mean, they're not really memorable at all. You have, I can't think of their names, but y'all have seen the trailer. I guarantee y'all have seen the trailer. The dad, he's played on other stuff. I don't know the actor's name. The mom, she played on, I don't know her, I know it's Mackenzie something. She played on the last Terminator movie. She was alright. The daughter was alright. James McAvoy's wife in this was alright. And then the kid who was mute, Ant, I think his name was Ant. He was cool. He had a big part. He was okay. And I expected him to have a big part. But I gotta say, I feel like the story, it flowed very nicely. It really did. But at the same time, Blumhouse, what Blumhouse has been doing, it's a very straightforward, simple premise story that we've seen before. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it doesn't take you out of the movie like, say, Night Swim or Imaginary did, which those two were not very good. And I wasn't even the biggest fan of Black Phone or Megan. I know people really enjoy those two, but I feel like those have better stories than Night Swim and Imaginary, obviously. But anyways, his story flowed nicely. It really did. But at the same time, it's very straightforward and it's very, you know, I don't know if I'd say forgettable, but it's what did I say earlier. It's something that we've seen before. We've seen this movie a million times. But at the same time, this movie is a lot of fun. This movie is a lot of fun. My crowd was loving it. I actually got to talk to a couple, random couple that were at the screening that I've never met before, which I met them last night. And they were really cool. If they subscribed, if y'all are watching, it was really, really nice to meet y'all. And I got to talk to them about my movie stuff, and that was cool. And I think they enjoyed it. But again, if y'all are watching, it was super nice to meet y'all. I saw Sean Chandler there as well. Sean, if you're watching, it was good to see you, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to come say hi. I was kind of rushing out the door a little bit. But if y'all haven't subscribed to Sean, go subscribe. He's great. But anyways, so this movie was a lot of fun. The crowd was getting into it. The crowd was like, okay, I was about to say, the crowd was laughing. And this movie, I did not expect this movie to be funny in the slightest. Did not expect that. This is a funny movie. Like, James McAvoy mainly brings the humor, you know, because just some of the things he says, you know, and when he says those things in the movie, the other couple, and they say something tacky, and it's just funny. It just ends up being really funny, and it works. It doesn't take away from the tone in this movie, and you would think in a movie like this, the humor would, but it does not take away from the tone. It really doesn't. Where's some other positives I have? I feel like, you know, the setting was okay. I feel like the setting was alright. There were some times where I was tense. I was like, oh no, I had to look away. Like, it is over the top thrilling and just suspenseful and scary, and it'll have you scared, if that's the right word to use, I guess. I mean, I guess it is. But yeah, I mean, I feel like those are really the only positives I have. So going into my negatives a little bit, I might have more positives, but just talking about my negatives. I do feel like, so this movie's an hour and 50-something minutes long, without credits is around an hour and 40-something minutes long. I do feel like the pacing was a little off. I noticed that, and I was like, yeah, this looks like it's a little rushed. But then, it kind of, how do I say it? It kind of took its time a little bit towards the middle on the way to the end. Like, from the middle to the end, it kind of took its time. But when it opened, like right when it opened, you could tell it was kind of rushed, you know what I mean? I don't know if rushed is the right word, but it felt very fast, you know what I mean? Like, they got right into it. Like, right when the movie opens, they meet James McAvoy, his wife, and their son, like, right away. And when that happened, I'm like, oh, wow, there's no build-up to that? There's no build-up at all. And I gotta say, there was one more negative I had. I feel like the pacing's really the only negative I do have. Also, my other negative is it is a very straightforward story, but at the same time, it doesn't really take you out like any other horror movie, you know, especially from Blumhouse. There are a lot of, horror tropes, and speaking of horror tropes, these are absolutely some of the dumbest movie characters I've ever seen in my life. Like, that couple that I was sitting next to that I got to meet last night. I was sitting right next to them, and right when the credits hit, I was telling that couple, I was like, those are probably some of the dumbest movie characters I've ever seen in my life. Like, these characters kept going into the house when they're supposed to be going to the car to leave. And then when they're leaving, they stop the car to go get something back at the house. And I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Like, I've never in my life said, come on, are you serious? So much out loud in the theater. I've never done that so much in my life. But I was legit like, oh, are you serious? Come on, dude. Are you doing that for real? Like, what is wrong with you? But, yeah, that's what I meant by these characters not being memorable. They just were doing so many dumb things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, you expect that in a horror movie nowadays, you know? And it's a common horror trope. You can't really escape it when you go watch these movies, you can't. But those are really the only negatives I have about the movie. I'm going to give this movie, I gave it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5, so, you know, I don't think I'd watch it again. And it's not horrible, it's not great. There's some really good stuff about it. There really is. But I don't need to watch it again. I don't need to watch it again. But, you know, there's some fun to be had with this movie. There is. James McAvoy was great. The suspense was great. The humor was great. You know, just there was a lot of good things about it. And if you're a James McAvoy fan, definitely go watch it, because this is honestly, from what I've seen, one of his best performances yet. And I know there's probably a lot of other movies I haven't seen yet with him in it. I've seen like the X-Men movies. I've seen Glass, you know. But if you're a horror fan and you're looking for a movie that is really thrilling and suspenseful, definitely go check this one out. I would say definitely go check this out with a big audience. Like, my audience was loving it, and I love to see that, you know, especially for a horror movie. I love to see the audience getting into it, you know what I mean? And it's just really, really cool. And, you know, I hope when y'all go see it, y'all enjoy it. So, this is my review for Speak No Evil. An okay time, not great, not bad. It's just fun, and the suspense will keep you entertained throughout the whole thing. It really will. But that's all I have for today. I will talk to y'all later. Please do not forget to subscribe down here. Videos daily. I'm trying to do them daily. Expect videos every week. I do videos every week. It's super easy to do that. I'm trying to make it easier to do them daily, but I am a college student. I just started college, so it's kind of difficult right now. You know what I mean? But like I said, do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment as well. And go see Speak No Evil. And when y'all do, come back here and let me know what y'all thought, and we'll talk about it. I'll talk to y'all later, you wonderful people. Cheers.